And it's great when somebody says, "Oh, I better check that band out." And I've actually had people on this channel say, "I've introduced them to new music." And basically you've introduced them to new music by introducing me to new music. And when you haven't, I've discovered it through YouTube, it's because the YouTube algorithm has gone like, "You've listened to this, listen to this." And that's because I've listened to that because of you. You! So reaction channels work. It's a proper community of learning new bands, same words in the right order, listening to new stuff and just discovering stuff together. So for all those labels, publishers, bands, etc., who don't think it's the right thing to do things, you're living in the past a little bit. I can understand that you don't like it, but I don't get any money from listening to listen. But all the videos I put out are not monetized on the review stuff, but all the videos I put out when I'm listening to music are all copyright claimed anyway. I know they're going to be, no matter what people say. If you cut them up and talk through them and stuff, they're still copyright claimed. Even a few seconds can be copyright claimed. People who say that people pause things so they're not claimed for that, so they can monetize them, that's wrong. They all get demonetized. They're all owned by the publisher, the artist, whatever, even if you pause them and talk through them and things like that. So people pause videos. I pause some of the videos not to try and get money from them, but to actually be able to get them up on the screen without them being blocked. Because some songs, if you don't pause them and do other things to them, they just get blocked worldwide, blocked locally or wherever. So you have to cut and paste and chuck them around. Anybody saying, some people watch the whole thing all the way through all the time. I try to do that most of the time, but I've heard it a couple of times from people saying like people cut them so they can get those videos monetized. They don't, because you can't unless a band already hasn't got a publishing thing or whatever. In which case, sometimes it comes up, but you can listen to a full song, and you can still get it. It's still available to be monetized if you wanted to, because that band hasn't got a publishing deal or anything, and they haven't thought about it. But for the most part, all of them get copyright claimed, so there's no money in it in that sense. So it's just about listening to music, enjoying music, passing on that music, other people discovering that music, and of course personally finding new music. So that's what I've done here, and these are 10 bands, like I say, that I have bought records, or albums. I always call them records with the CDs or whatever, but I've got 10 here, so I'm going to do them in order, really, from number 10, if I can work out what my number 10 is. So from number 10, Beast in Black, power metalers, crazy power metalers, discovered because of you guys, don't forget, on all cases really. Berserker, I got that Christmas. Not Christmas just gone, Christmas before that, on a nice slab of vinyl for some friends, and then I bought From Hell With Love. Now Hell With Love doesn't quite hit as well as Berserker, but still brilliant little power metal group like Beast in Black, a lot. They are just brilliant. He's got a fantastic voice. Somebody called him the Freddie Mercury of metal. His voice is different. It's not Adam Lambert, who's basically almost a clone. It is a different type of thing. He's got a very, very wide sound of voice. He's fantastic. And this isn't a review thing. This is just saying what I liked and what I've bought. So I better stop whittling on, because that was at number 10. So number 9, I have 2 albums by these guys as well. Insomnium. I mean, Shadows of the Dying Sun, Heart Like a Grave. Heart Like a Grave, of course, got The Christmas Just Gone, Shadows of the Dying Sun, bought that because Why We Sleep is a stunning, stunning, stunning song. It is fantastic. While We Sleep is just awesome. Effectively, I bought the album because that song was on it. It was like, you know what? Any band that can make me go, that's just the most amazing song out of my month or whatever. One of the best songs I've heard for a long, long time. Even if the rest of the album sucked, I would have bought that album because that song's on that album. that song had to be mine, and it had to be on something physical, physical media, and so it was. And the album was pretty damn good as well. But that song, one song can just make me go, and of course, it's led to me getting their latest album as well. So where are we? I haven't got these in order because I just wrote a list down of them, because thinking ahead is not what I do. Number 8, we'll go for Australian synth gent poppy proggers, Voyager. I've got the latest album, of course, Colours in the Sun. I've done a review of that album, and I've also got Ghost Mile, which I've heard several times as well now. I should really get around to do a review of that, well, shouldn't I? Because I've got those 2 albums. That was their last album before Colours in the Sun came out, and I should do a review of that. But it's like wonderful, shimmery, yet bloody heavy, genty stuff. It's crazy that they mix those two together. Ghost Mile, a lot darker than Colours in the Sun, mind you. Colours in the Sun is really, really, you feel like you're in Australia there. It's like, whoa, I feel like I'm in Perth with them when I play that. It's like you expect to see a kangaroo hopping through your room as the music's playing to the heavy gent beat. But anyway, number 7, this is thanks to Anne Wychoff and several other people, Evergray. Evergray, I have A Night to Remember, which is a double live album from their earlier days. I have Hymns for the Broken, The Storm Within, and The Atlantic. Hymns for the Broken, out of these are the last 3 albums they brought out. Hymns for the Broken is my favourite of those 3. It is a barnstormer. The Storm Within, I think, dropped a little bit. It's got some stunning songs on it, but it dropped a little bit from Hymns for the Broken. The Atlantic pushed it back up again. There's still a few more what I class mediocre, average soul songs on there compared to Hymns for the Broken, but still bloody great. And those albums really fantastic. At one stage it was like, I'm Evergray, it's all Evergray. Of course now I've moved on a little bit, I do tend to do that, but I'm willing to, I go back all the time to listen to stuff. It's just new music keeps coming in and I keep going like, I'm just listening to that stuff instead. But Evergray, whoa. But yeah, got 4 albums. One I bought, the live one I bought for €5 from a store in Berlin. I find music everywhere. Number 6. Oh, this is just, they're just brilliant. Soen. I've got, if I can pronounce it, Lycaia and Lotus. Lotus is where I discovered them basically. It's an album just full of melodic, progressive metal. The class is progressive metal, because you can't really class them as anything else, because they're just so damn sweet. The gentle, loud dynamic is there pretty much all the time in their songs. There's so much melody, so much epicness to each of their songs. It's just stunning. Absolutely bloody love Soen. I would have never, ever checked out Soen from reviews and stuff, because people were going like, oh, they're like a light version of Tool, oh, they're like an indie Tool, oh, and then Tool isn't my favourite. They're a bit too languid and laid back. They're heavy yet languid and laid back. They sort of aren't in any rush to get anywhere, and sometimes it feels to me that Tool just can't be bothered, even though they obviously can. It's just the way my mind feels about their music. A lot of the time I have a Tool album, tried them out, they've never really gelled for it. So when you read reviews saying so like Tool, but more commercial Tool, I'm like, no. But then somebody says, hey, listen to these, I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it. And it was like, it's the way it goes. It's really weird how you can like one thing that sounds, one thing there and one thing that's supposed to sound similar to that, and you're like, no, they're different to me. The weird way the world works in your own head. So at number 5, I've got to say, Bork Nagar. Found Bork Nagar, of course, very, very late on last year. Guys introduced me. True North is a true stunner of an album. Winter Thrice is also a great album. Not as good as True North for me, but it's still a great album of what would you call it? Nordic metal epicosity. they're standing on mountains going like, yeah, sort of music. It's just all round. I mean, I've done a reaction to another Borknagar album song from a while back, and it was brilliant as well. So these guys don't really know about writing ordinary. Everything has to be like, whoa, and they do it very well. So number 4, Winter Sun. I had a bit of a run on Winter Sun for a while. I've pretty much heard the whole of their first album now. I think I've actually heard every single song on their album. I've reacted to several of them on there, but I've also got the album Time One and the Forest Seasons. I've done a review of Forest Seasons a while back. Loved their album, pretty much all of it, apart from one song which was far too black metal-y for me. Just made me go, ooh, great middle part, but and Time is just awesome. Got onto Time, it's just a stunner of epic, progressive, melodic death metal. The albums, they're just brilliant. I mean, but all these albums are brilliant. I don't know why I keep saying it. All these albums work for me one way or another, but all these albums I would not have owned were it not for you and not for me doing this reaction channel. That's the greatness of doing reaction channels. If you want to do your own reaction channel, I'd recommend it. If you just want to do it a couple of times a week or stuff and you don't really care too much about lots of people watching you or whatever, if you don't mind about building slowly, if you just want to listen to what you want to listen to and get suggestions from people that aren't the same old all the time, then I would recommend going for it. Just try it out. You'd be able to listen to the music that you like, and then people will come in and say, hey, listen to this, and if it's something you haven't heard, go, okay, and you might find new stuff for you to listen to, especially if the channel that you're watching, like mine or whatever, isn't looking at the stuff you want to be looking at. I would say, go for it, why not? It's easy as putting a video up and looking terrible and doing terrible things and being terrible at it, but just enjoying yourself while you're doing it, and then wait for people to slag you off and just go like, yeah, who cares? That's the way it goes. If you can put up with that, you can put up with anything. But anyway, that was Borknagar, Winter Sun, blah 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 blah. So, number 3, Cellar Darling. Out of the ashes of LVT, not really because they're still going, but Cellar Darling, the first album, very good album. I've got this is the Sound, of course, and The Spell, which was their second and progressive metal rock album, whatever you want to class it as. Awesomeness. This is The Sound. It's very much more a mix of rock, metal and progressive songs as well, with some folk elements to it. The Spell, full on progressive album. They just went the right way for me. When I listened to This is The Sound, it was like, the more progressive songs made me go, oh, I hope they go that way, because bands don't always go the way you want. You can hear a band and go like, they've got songs like that and there's songs like that. I want the songs like that, not like that. And they go like that. And the next album you go like, damn. It reminds me of a Metal Church. Way back in the early 80s, Metal Church appeared, a thrash metal album, Metal Church. The first side of the vinyl was just monstrous. Oh my god. The second half, much more simpler, a couple of really great songs, and then most of it was a bit, it's alright. But the first half was just monstrous. So how did they go from there? Yeah, they went second half style on the next album. Cleaner, straightforwarder, less, more, And that's what happens to a lot of bands that I seem to get into. It's like, ooh, I'd like them to go that way, and they go the other way. It's like, what you going to do? But some don't. Cellar Darling didn't, and I'm so glad. Their music is transcendent. Wonderful. Okay, number 2. Oceans of Slumber. Now, nobody's recommended any Oceans of Slumber to me. It's a YouTube recommendation, but of course those things come up when I listen to music that you guys recommended to me. And discovered a fantastic progressive metal band. Lead vocalist, she's got stunning voice. They've got death metal vocals in there, they're not hers. She's not one of those ones who's got wonderful cleans and growls. She's the clean, guy's the growls. When they do growls, they don't always do growls. Basically, I've got The Banished Heart and Winter. Banished Art was their last album. I think they must be about due another one. I'm going to have to look that up. But sheer wonderful progressive metal sounds that they produce. Wow. I mean, again, I remember reading a review of these in a magazine and going like, sound alright, I suppose, not interested. Writing a review or speaking a review. Speaking a review might work sometimes better, but especially if you link it with a reaction to a song. That makes people go, ooh, actually. So, finally, my number one, cast as number one, the band that's affected me the most recently, thanks to this reaction channel. I got 4 albums by them, and I got those 4 albums within the space of 2 months. And that is Leprous. I have Coal, I have The Congregation, isn't it The Congregation? Yes, Congregation, Melina, and Pitfalls. What a progression in change in sound. Coal is their oldest one I've got of theirs. I think they've only got 6 albums out. Not sure where Coal fits into it. I'm not sure about the timeline. I haven't really looked it up because Coal and The Congregation were both available for like a $5 online. It was like, you got to get them brand new as well. So I grabbed those, but that was after I bought Melina because it was their latest album at the time. Because Pitfalls hadn't come out, I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. And it was like, whoa. When pretty much Coal is heavier, Congregation is slightly less heavy and more experiment. They sort of have lightened as they've gone along because the latest album is much more synth, drum and bass sort of driven sort of stuff, less guitar in there, much more atmospherics and stuff. But their music has progressed across the time from extremely heavy to just amazingly atmospheric, pure atmosphere, and pretty much have enjoyed all of them. I think their last album, Pitfalls, I've had it since Christmas. It's got its good points and its bad points for me. It's not been the most amazing album overall from them. Melina is my favourite by far. Congregation is the next. I think Pitfalls comes 3rd at the moment for me, but I will probably review things eventually by them. But I really love Leprous, and again, all of these in this list that you've probably got fed up on and walked away now are all because of you. So thank you very much. Keep saying things to me, keep requesting things to me, keep saying, why don't you listen to this to me, because there's always new stuff coming out. I mean, all those bands, all that have managed to get money out of me, which is difficult because the music is stunning. So thank you guys, keep doing it, and let's keep doing it together. I'll stop now. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll chat again later.